So this is a beast I acquired. It is very neat and tidy. Although it's got, if you saw yesterday's video, if you might have seen on the tagger, the old tagger, I actually got it for less than 100 quid, and I feel like, yeah, I did pretty well, to be honest. I've set it up so the tremolo can work if I want it to, but I'm never going to use it. I love the way it's been equipped. This is based off the most boring guitar ever to exist, but also the best beginner's guitar ever to exist, the Yamaha ERG 121. This is just a very upscale version, you know, with proper machine heads that are actually really slick and a really low gear, You know, it's just nice and neatly done. You know, it's just slightly more upmarket switch gear and everything else, and finish, you know, they actually put paint on the headstock. But if you want to see a great video of the 121, the Yamaha ERG 121, go straight to Mad Malco's channel, and he's got a wonderful video of one. Right, I'm just gonna play with myself for a bit. All right, I know that'll probably get demonetized, but loving the alien. I'm gonna just play with myself. Do you want to watch or listen? Alright, there's actually a little challenge for you. Guess the distortion or overdrive. Guess what the drive I'm using. I'm in single coil mode. Very warm, single coil, but not muddy, I don't think. Coil humbucker. 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 bridge and middle. Alright, so what I'm actually using today is, sorry, bad camera move, is the little Vox StompLab. I get on so well with this thing. I can heartily recommend the Vox StompLab IIG for every guitarist, probably the 1G as well. You know, if I was like a bit more like opulent, I might even get the 1G just as a desktop. But yeah, you know, you can hear by the stuff that I'm doing with the delay pedal there, you know, the potential that you have, you know, for the expression pedal. Now, I can't do it right now. Razwander Katha, right, chap from like you know, the Far East. Wonderful subscriber. Shout out to you, Razwander. I'm sorry if I'm not pronouncing your name right. But hopefully today made a new musical chum. His name is Chris. He's Snail Driver. He's the driver of snails. The Snail Driver is his name in the comments if you want to say hello. Now, a remarkable coincidence. Do any of you know Mike from CSG Guitars? Yeah, you know, he's struggling at the minute. He's having struggles, and he's a lovely, lovely, blessed guy. He's one of the decent channels. He's one of the good guys, okay? It's not that he's not like me, where I'm completely not money-minded, completely like, you know, flying solo. But he's not a shill either. He's open about the support that he gets, and he's open about what he supports. He's completely above board. Kind of like, you know, 60 Cycle Hum deserves a shout out for that as well. He's also completely above board in it. Yeah, anyway, this fellow, the Snail Driver, he saw a comment that I made on, you know, Mike's channel, CSG Guitars. And he was like, oh, seems like a, you know, decent guy. And he checked out my channel. He thought, I'll have a look at his channel. Checked out my channel. I guess he must have subscribed. And I guess he must have got a notification for a live stream I was doing. That was back when I was able to stream. And anyway, he came on the stream. He's like, you know, I can't mention I lived in the New Forest. I said, hey, I live in the New Forest. Oh, we should maybe, you know, look about having a jam. Where do you live exactly? It's like, oh, I'm in New Milton. He's like, oh, I can in New Milton. I mean, what are the fucking odds of that? So we've actually met up now. He's a fucking cool dude. He's got a nice, interesting, like, taste in guitars. And a very helpful, very decent chap. And I'm very delighted to make his acquaintance. So, yeah, anyway, I'm hopefully going to get him up here to help me with the video. If not, I'll get my girlfriend to help it. But, like, I basically need someone to sort of move the camera about a little bit while I talk. To help Razwander out, and basically, like, later on, there's going to be another Tone Tuesday, which is purely about You know, the StompLab 2G, the Vox StompLab 2G. I'm soon to get one for the bass. At the moment, I'm using the Cosm models in the BR600 8-track recorder, but I'm getting some lovely bass sounds out of that. Aside from that, I've got my bass amp, which is a Laney R4, quite a powerful thing. Don't know how well you can see that, but it's got, like, you know, some damn good features on it. You know, and it's a nice big driver on it. It sounds great, as you will hear when I do the P-Bass episode, which I'm also going to do this week. So we're going to have a few Tuesdays this week. Probably it's going to be Tone Tuesday on a Thursday. Like, but yeah. You know, like, this is the fucking cyberspace. You can do whatever you like. It's very flexible. So yeah, so this sound is coming from a drive. Put it in the comments. What drive do you think I'm using? I'll give you a clue. I've modelled a pedal, okay? That's not going to help. Like, fucking 50cc is not going to help. So yeah, now, this isn't a model of anything coming. Oh, and I'm going into the amp that I picked up for 25 quid that turned out to be classically vintage. It is a Hohner Rockwood HR30R. There we go, you got it there. And actually use it all the time. The Champ 110, I'm going to do a video on this at some point. It is a wonderful amp. I use this a hell of a lot, but I was using it so much. I mean, it was getting like over 12 hours a day, like day after day after day at one point. And I thought, you know, like, I want to just take the weight off. So I used this for a lot of practice. It's a great sort of neutral platform for the StompLab as well. You know, and it's like, actually the Marshall and the Orange I actually tend to use for flavour, in the way that I would use a Telecaster or a Stratocaster for a particular tone. I actually use those two for studio flavour. So, you know, for stuff like this, it's the StompLab into like the Hohner or the Fender 110, or my absolute wonderful, awesome, can't speak highly enough, Vox VT-20 Plus, which is fucking astounding. I'm finding new features with it all the time. Because it's the modelling amp, you know, with like built-in effects, the one thing it isn't very good at is a pedal platform. Well, it's alright if you put one pedal in. If you put one pedal in there, it's great. It doesn't seem to mind it. Once you start putting more than like 3 or more, or a multi-effect, essentially, like, I really wanted the foot control attributes of the StompLab, and I was having difficulty making it sound like any good, putting the StompLab into the VT-20. But actually, there's a fucking amp model specific for that, I think, because it works so well. I can only assume that it was designed for that. It's actually, it's on channel 1, clean, the first channel, clean, and it's in the red setting, the custom setting, and it's called a 3-tone control amp, pure clean, direct EQ. So, and it's like a wonderful pedal platform. So, wadam! And then I can use the effect, like the multitude of effects and features on the VT-20 with the StompLab. I actually recorded with it the other night. It's a real sort of headache. You got to get it all exactly correct, and it really doesn't work any other way. The Jazz Chorus model, the Roland Jazz Chorus model, that sort of works okay, but it's still a bit killed. I mean, if you compare it to just the Roland Jazz Chorus, it's like, Now, there is a huge advantage to having your effects in the amp. It's something I used to actually turn my nose up. I used to actually be quite snobby with guitar stuff. Not so much for brands, but in the way you do things. And I kind of was a bit snobby for brands. I mean, it would be like I had my Ernie Ball Music Man Silhouette. That was my #1 guitar. That's a wonderful guitar. Kev Walker, if you're out there, big shout out to you, man. Like, that's the guy that bought it off me. Actually swapped it for a Yamaha, like, is it AEX, like 500, the one with the little mini humbucker at the neck and the piezo at the bridge. Little like thin line. Did a trade-in, like that Yamaha and some cash, but like it went to the right person. Kev Walker was somebody like, you know, when he lived in the house, like there's a big like student house that loads of people lived in, and like I would stay with my girlfriend there a lot, and I would be like in the toilet at 3 o'clock in the morning practicing my guitar, tripping on acid or whatever, and I remember stopping and I could hear somebody else practicing guitar, and it was Kev downstairs, you know, so I always respected him for that. But yeah, one of the big advantages now like. So I like had main brand guitars, and I used like, you know, Marshall amps, fairly and Del Pico, pretty exclusion of everything else. So I had like I think, you know, I had a crate practice amp, like a small crate. But yeah, you know, I was very sort of like guitar pedals amp. That's how you do it. Like, you know, and it was valve drive and blah blah. But the bigger, you know, in-amp effects are something I turn my nose up. They're usually not that good, or they usually weren't that good compared to sort of like the effects that you'd get on the floor or in the rack, another place I would derive my effects through, like effects loops and racks. But now I adore amp effects, and they interest me greatly. I generally see them as a bonus. With the Vox here, the VT-20, it's just, they're an essential part of the amp's identity. But something I've really discovered by using the Vox, something I've really noticed, is actually you don't lose anything. When you use an effect in an amp which has built-in effects, you don't lose in the way that you lose with a pedal on the floor. Like, there's no sudden drop out of low end or high end or whatever. Certainly not to the extent that there is with a floor pedal on the floor with your patch cables and all that. I mean, you're starting to jam a lot into the signal like that. With an amp with built-in effects, it keeps that clean, okay? Because it's all on the same board, so it's a nice clean run at the effects. So they come nice and hot and sharp. So with this Vox, which has got extremely good quality effects on it, I think. Anyway, to be honest, I respect your opinion. But if you don't like it, I'd like to know why you don't like the sound of this Vox amp, because it astonishes me on a daily basis. I guess I've become a lot more forgiving of cheap equipment, and I kind of consider this cheap equipment. You can pick up the VTX now, the VT-20X. Like, you can buy that brand new for 140 quid, and you can use your mobile phone as the control. They call it a tone room, that you know, and it's basically like a virtual room, and you pick your amp and your pedals and stuff, and it's quite cool. I actually prefer the Plus. I prefer the layout, although maybe that's some, you know, buyer's bias. You know, when you buy something, you kind of end up a bit defensive of it. But I just love the layout. I love the proper layout. Like, it's similar to the StompLab, but more like open. I find it no trouble. I don't like the dumbness with the patches that you can save. You can save like 2 banks of 4 basically, and I don't like the foot switch system, which is half the price of the amp, and all it does is give you that bank of 4. What I would rather have is like effects on and off, and, you know, amp model up and down, you know, and maybe just one for like the banks and go up and down. I don't know, but I don't like, you know, 70 quid for the 4 banks, because it means that's all. Because I myself, somebody else might think that's great, but I myself just don't get on with that. I don't really use the saved banks. I've got the saved banks, I've patched them in, and they're all brilliant things and things that I use, but that's never even the way that when I use, say, Brian May's amp, I use Brian May's amp. There's a lovely model in this. I mean, Vox proprietary, I guess, because, you know, that he uses his, like, you know, massive phalanx of fucking AC30s. But, you know, Vox has provided a wonderful model of Brian May's amp, and it's something I use a lot because it's just, like, super hot. It's like, it's as heavy and as hard as like a 5150 or, you know, any other thrash amp, like a VHT cranked or boogie. But it's got a character all of its own that, you know, it's wild. It's wild. It has shades of like the El Pico in there, you know. And I think the El Pico was based off the AC30 circuit anyway in the first place. But that's something that I use quite a lot. Funnily enough, I use blackface profiles all the time. The Fender Blackface is my favourite amp in its many incarnate forms. I mean, in particular, the Deluxe, the Deluxe Reverb, and the Twin, but yeah, I love my blackface champs. In fact, let's have a look at the blackface champ. But yeah, huge bonus and plus of effects being in the amp. Sometimes they really work well. The Marshall, notably, that I bought off Mad Malco, big shout out to Mad Malco's channel, has a wonderful set of effects. Wonderful. Reverb, delay, chorus, flanger. And the delay in particular is lovely. It's crisp. And it's a nice way that you can mix them into the sound and you don't lose anything. So, yeah, this champ, the Super Champ, my favourite amp, I actually don't like the effects on it that much. They don't do much for me. I just don't... The reverb, the Fender DSP, they've got a good reputation. The forums like them. I don't. I find them pretty dark, pretty dull, either too bright or too dark, too brittle, like a low bit rate maybe. I don't know. They just don't do anything for me. The tremolo's good, but that's it. The rest of it, especially the reverb stinks. I wish they'd just put a fucking Accutronics tray, or the shit fucking Mexican copy of an Accutronics that's in the fucking Champ 110. I love that reverb. I'll demonstrate that one day. Anyway, let's give the Champ some love as let's go to and okay, oh no, it's 1, 3, and I'm just gonna play a tune. Getting this lovely and right. too hard on that reverb? Just let the Yamaha play on the tube amp. Am I being too hard on the effects here? Oh, this is quite good actually. There was vibratone and tremolo. The tremolo is great actually. That's really nice and warm. I think some of the effects are a bit dark, but this is really nice and warm. effects. Yeah, the chorus. And you get chorus into there. And chorus and reverb. Right. So one last little thing for Malco, Let There Be Light. Right, so that was the Super Champ, just dicking around with the Super Champ there. I was in voice number 14, which is, let me just go to my notes. Right, look at this, any modelling, like all my patches and all my modelling's in this book. And you can see that I put quite a lot of time into modelling my shit and, you know, getting it done. But this works like a, you know, it's a total, and I can quickly, like, you know, refer to things. You know, it's pretty handy, and yeah, it's worked out for me. You know, it's so yeah. So this is Sustain High Gain Scoop Modern Jazz Sustain High Gain Scoop Modern Fender Metalhead number 14. The Fender Metalhead is a fucking horrible amp that looks like something that somebody did in a metalwork class. And all I can say is, okay, well, this is a model of that horrible transistor amp that looks like it was made in a school metalwork class, but modelled through, you know, a class AB, I think, tube amp. So, you know, different kettle of fish altogether. But yeah, that's something I use a fair old bit. Anyway, I think I'm all done. I'll drink from my death. The rhuarg and bum holes to the rest of them. There'll be a Tone Tuesday later, and I think that's all about it. But yeah, hope you enjoyed checking out stuff in the studio. You see where the keyboard is right here? Normal guitar notes, keyboard guitars can sound alright. But yeah. I think that's going to do us. So I'll let you have one last listen to the Rat. Ah! Oh, I fucked that up. I was going to say I'll let you have one last listen to the distortion, and then you can guess what I've modelled. Alright, well, guess what I modelled? Comment below. What a tit. Yeah, I modelled the Rat. I was watching JHS Josh do his, like, pack Rat demo, and I was, like, modelling along with them. I modelled an OG Rat. Anyway, tell me what you think of that. But, yeah. Where this is, well, do you remember a few weeks ago I said, hey, if you've got any music equipment that you don't use or is excess to requirements, you know, I'd be great to happily have it in the studio, blah blah. Well, somebody come through with that. It's like a Hammond style organ. It's not a Hammond, but it's a really cool organ, and I'm going to make room for it in here. And you know what? Like every studio I've had has had a wonderfully donated 2-keyboard organ. You know, usually a drawer organ. This one's digital, so I don't know if I'll, you know, get on with it. Well, I certainly won't be as familiar straight away. But if you've ever heard stuff, hassle Keith Sutton, if you want to hear the stuff that me and him did, where I did the drums and the organ, and he did the guitar and the synth, and we had so much fun with that, and it was actually quite good. I mean, I say so myself, blowing my own trumpet and all. But yeah, Keith Sutton, wonderful dude, really enjoyed making music with him. He'll feature in a Tone Tuesday one day as I talk about stuff. But yeah, I think we'll finish up, and that'll be that. Signing off with a bomb. Stay healthy, stay heavy. Big shout out to Chris the Snail Driver. Give him some love in the comments. Mr. White, stay cheerful. Razwanda Katha, if I'm getting your name right. Okay, the next Tone Tuesday coming up is basically all about the StompLab IIG. Big shout out to Mad Malco. Check out his channel. I'm going to be doing P basses as well this week, so big shout out to Buster's Bass Guitars channel. That's another great channel. I can't supply links. When I get a PC sorted out, which I think that's coming on the horizon soon, I will retroactively go and I'll put these links below, either in the description or in the comments. Alright, love you very much. Fucking have a great day.